Super Nintendo. In 1997, Nintendo released a smaller version of their super hit Super Nintendo. A lot smaller. And basically, everything's the same except for how small it is. Model numbers are different. This was actually one I purchased way back in about, well, it's got the date still on it from when I bought it. If we can get that up here. 4/27/98 is when this was purchased. And I think I got it at a Walmart. They had other models that came with the game, but I had a lot of games. I just wanted a new Super Nintendo. And a little bit of scuffs on here, but it's because it's been in storage for such a long time. This one, I'm going to open it, give you like a kind of an unboxing of it. I think it's pretty complete. I got another Super Nintendo in original size for comparison. So let's open it up, take a look. Oh, things on the box. Like a Mario RPG style Super Mario and Yoshi. The N64 was already out at this point. So, and actually you'll see on the back, if you needed an RF adapter, you it even tells you, I don't know if it's coming in right there, it says if you need an RF adapter to buy the N64 RF adapter, because it only comes with a stereo composite, well, I'll show you that in a minute, in for your TV. Some of the games that were popular at the time, later games, Donkey Kong Country, I don't know, it's still showing F-Zero, which is cool because that was a launch title originally and it's still in the box. And of course Mario Kart, and the little window that you can see the serial number through. Alright, well, let's move on to that. Here's the phone. Still got the bag. Standard power adapter, I believe it's exactly the same. 60 hertz, 17 watt, DC 10 volt. Same as that. Now, this is different. This controller is actually model number SNES 102. And the original, which I have here for comparison, they're about the, I mean, they're the same size. Everything looks similar, except it was SNES 005. If you can see that on there, it's kind of difficult. But the difference mainly being, it used to be screen printed Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Then they just made it in molded plastic Nintendo. This one's made in China. This one was made in Japan. And there is a little bit of a heft difference, but it really isn't much. But the original is definitely thicker. You can see it's got some yellowing going on because of the original. But yeah, they're different. Definitely some weight difference between controllers. The buttons, actually the buttons don't feel as, I'd say the shoulder buttons. The original has more of a click to them. These are more springy. Alright, we'll get that out of the way. Still in the bag. There's this is the only cable that comes with it instead of an RF modulator. It just comes with the standard multi that the Super Nintendo, GameCube, N64, and I think the Wii's was different, but it's the same one. The Wii may be the same, I'm not sure. Can't remember. Got the console. Still got the books. Alright. Get some Nintendo Power action going on. Remember there used to be a poster? Oh, well, there's that. Huh, they even wanted to know if you owned Sega. Put that back in. Okay, I'm not going to have a seizure. Basically just how to set it up, but oops, how to set it up. Don't need to see any of that, really. Put that back in the plastic later. The console, which is really what everybody wanted to see. So that's out of the way. We've got the console here. It's small for comparison. Got a good bit of just the size itself is just really hard to see on video, but it is small compared to the Super NES. That's better. You can see now how much smaller it is. Maybe if you stack it on top. So, it is a lot smaller. We can look at the ports. Super original also has the RF out channel selector for the RF out, DC 10 volt, same power supply, and the multi. Whereas this, they dropped the RF support completely. You had to buy the N64 RF modulator if you needed it. Just came with the multi. Really nothing else. Some more vents along the side. I don't even know if it really needed the vents. There's nothing in here that gets warm. Nothing. I know this original Super Nintendo had vents too. I've never felt a warm Super Nintendo. Kind of has the same kind of vents here as the ones on the side. Almost, wow, it's almost exactly the same. You can see the model number on this. The original Super Nintendo's SNES 00 or SNES 002 for the adapter, which is I think the same. And the model number is SNES 001 for the deck. On this, the deck, same model number for the adapter, but it is SNES 101, a lot smaller, but still made in Japan. Again, I'm not sure. That's very small print if it's coming up. And actually, the old Super Nintendo, made in China. That's kind of odd. Normally, you don't see it like that. This isn't an original model Super Nintendo. It's not the one with the original model has a locking mechanism that when the power's on, it locks up and holds the game in. I do have an original one, but it's so yellow you wouldn't want to see it on video. But I'm not sure if that's made in Japan or China. But what is funny is that this one was made before this one, and it was made in China, and this one was made in Japan. And the controllers are the opposite. I don't get that, but all right, you can see the color scheme basically stayed exactly the same. But again, screen printing on the old, it's molded right into the plastic here. But the Nintendo logo is the same. They're both molded. Power switch must be off. Sure it is. No eject button. No eject button on here. If I have a game here, I'll stick a game in. Here's Mario All-Stars. And stick a game. If I don't keep bumping the camera, stick a game here and the other. They stick up almost exactly the same. Really, there's not much room underneath the boards inside these cases, so you really couldn't. Anyway, this was debuted in 1997 in Japan, and I think the US as well. And then months later, they released it without a bundled game. Originally, you had to get a bundled game. I'm not sure what all these... I can't remember the games now. I think one was Legend of Zelda, and some of them were store exclusives. Certain stores came with a certain game, or another one. Their deal was, hey, come here, you can get a better game or a different game. But it all seems to, everything feels good. I mean, even though it's a smaller... The plastic is thick. No eject button. Man, I miss eject button. But it feels good. The only thing, in the original Super Nintendo, the flap does keep dust out. Because the dust, even if it laid here, when you put the game in, it would fall here. Before you get to the connector, it would fall down in here. So that potentially you get a lot of dirt built up there. But it wouldn't fall right into the connector. On this, the dust is going to lay right in the middle. And when that opens, where does it go? Directly into the Super Nintendo slot. So potentially, this would get dirtier faster. I'll do a little video test here in a minute just to show what the games look like playing on them. It's exactly the same. There's really no difference at all between the two. There is no light to let you know. The original SNES has a light that comes on. Later, no light. That's just the player 1, player 2. You just, when it's on, it's on. It's off, it's off. It's the only way you know that it's on. I guess it saves them a penny. But this came out at $100. This was about $200 when it came out, I believe. So they work, but this was so much later. And it wasn't $100 long. I believe Nintendo cut this price to match the Sega Genesis Model 3 when Majesco, I believe it was, bought the rights to the Sega Genesis, made the Model 3. So therefore, they could compete. So they kept lowering the price on this drastically until they sold out just about every one of them. All right, I'll get some gameplay footage here in a moment. Alright, so we got a little bit of a game going on here. Put Super Mario All-Stars in. Turn it on, see how it goes. I do have the TV set to be square because I don't need it stretched. Sorry, no tube TV, so... But even if we did, all you'd see is flickering anyway. So the TV might not look as perfect as what a tube TV would on something like this. Let's play Mario 1. We'll start a new one. Alright. You can see it plays exactly the same. Actually, the graphics there is no difference. Ah, see, in the suit, I almost did it. It's been a long time, especially. You can do the backwards jumps even on the Super Nintendo one, but it's not as easy as the NES. I am better at the original NES version. Oh, I missed the second jump. Oh well. See, it works pretty good. Reset. Not worried about saving that. Comes right back up. Just as fast. Everything's the same. So, would I recommend this over the other? Not really. The old one, at least you have the options. If you wanted to hook it up to an RF, you could. You have the option to do so. But when if it came down to it and you could only get one, I would definitely get the original Super Nintendo. I mean, I'll hook it up just for comparison's sake, but the game's going to look exactly the same. And we have Super Mario All-Stars now running on the original SNES. Nothing different at all. Screen looks just as crisp as the other. I have to recommend, though, if you're going to play this, hook it up, use it through the composite. Do not use the RF. When you get the RF, you lose the crispness of the edges, which, to me, I like to look at it the way it's meant to be. I know some people like to play on emulators, and you make it real smooth. It's not the same. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right, and it's just not the same. Start up Super Mario 1 again. And oh, and then I hit the wrong buttons. I forgot I'm on a Super Nintendo. It's the XA instead of YB. Oh well. You got to see my death scene. And I'm not going to play through the whole level this time. Let's see if I can get... No, see, I can't. Am I terrible trying to jump off the ledge? For anybody that knows, if you do it backwards just in the right time, you can jump off the ledge on the inside lip of pipes and such. Because of the glitches in the... Well, the way they had to program it, they left a little edge there. Anyway, there's my unboxing / review of the small model, mini, micro, SNES 2, whatever you want to call it, game system. Be sure to check out gamecollect.in, and you can keep track of all your games you own. It's almost complete. There's a good bit of stuff you can do there. There's forums you can check out. You can also post for games. And I will try to post another video for the Virtual Boy shortly, because I have one of those in the box as well. Please like this video if you find it interesting and you'd like to see more videos. Just check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. Thanks.